Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Stando TV. It's the end of the year, so we should probably talk about my top 5 favorite games of the year. Now, Last Guardian is not going to make it on this list, and I'm going to count it actually as a 2017 game. So there is no Last Guardian going to be mentioned on the list because I haven't got to it yet. Also, if you're a big Overwatch fan, I'm not, so Overwatch isn't going to be on this list, and you can probably skip this video altogether because, like I said, I'm just not into Overwatch. It's not my cup of tea. With that being said, let's get to my top 5. Coming in at number 5 is going to be Assassin's Creed Syndicate. I know Assassin's Creed Syndicate, technically a last year game. I didn't get to play it last year. I got to play it this year. So I thought it was the best of the Ubisoft games that I played this year. I played Assassin's Creed Syndicate, I played Far Cry Primal, and I played Watch Dogs 2, and I felt like Assassin's Creed Syndicate was just the better of the 3 games, and I felt like it needed to be included here. It was a much better game than Unity. Unity, was bug riddled when it came out. It took like months before that game actually got good, and even at the end of the day, you're just sitting here scratching your head. Was like, Unity all that great? Well, it was okay. It did some good things, but there was a lot that it didn't live up to, mainly the hype. But Assassin's Creed Syndicate was fantastic. It was toned back, and rightfully so. And I loved the 2 protagonists in the game. I loved Evie Fry and I loved Jacob Fry. They're just great characters. The story was compelling, even though I felt that the villains were a little generic. It was a great game overall, and I really loved Assassin's Creed Syndicate. Coming in at number 4 is Doom. Let me tell you about Doom. Oh my god, I had a blast with Doom. Multiplayer not so much, but the single player campaign in Doom remind me of the old school days of playing Doom back in the 90s. Doom and Doom 2, Hell on Earth. I had a great time playing Doom. It was fast, high octane action that never let off the throttle, and it was good to see the franchise go back to the roots. I mean, don't get me wrong, there were some aspects of Doom 3 that I enjoyed, especially when it got to the sci-fi horror aspect of the game, but I just felt like this was a much better game all around, and the performance of this game, no matter what platform you played it on, it was fantastic. It was high speed, balls to the walls action, and that's what Doom is all about, just blasting demons and fools. And Doom Marine, not giving a shit, you know what I'm saying? That's Doom to a T, and I really enjoyed it this time around. This was a great single player. A lot of single player games can't get away with this. They have to have the plot development, they have to have the cinematic moments. Doom is one of those games that can get away with not doing all of that because it pays homage to the original, and man, this game was fun. Coming in at number 3 is Battlefield 1. Now, I have really enjoyed Battlefield 1, and it's refreshing to see a shooter take a step back from the high sci-fi action that Call of Duty or the high modern warfare shooter that both franchises, Call of Duty and Battlefield, have done in the past several games. And also, but just Call of Duty and Titanfall, they're just too far sci-fi to me. I'm ready to get back boots to the ground action. We've not really had World War II shooters since the PlayStation 2 era, and it's just great to have a ground infantry game like Battlefield 1 that's fun. It's got a fantastic gameplay hook, and it doesn't matter if you're a hardcore pro or if you're a casual like me that just likes getting in and shooting your friends. It's been a good time. It's been a blast. I've had a hell of a lot of fun with Battlefield 1. It's got a pretty decent campaign. And the multiplayer component just blows me away. I'm in love with this game. There are some modes that I wish that were here that translated from the past games, that maybe that comes out in updates and stuff. But for the most part, Battlefield 1 delivered on what ground infantry games should feel like. Coming in at number 2 is Final Fantasy 15, and I know my review for Final Fantasy 15 isn't out yet, and that's because I'm still playing it. But Final Fantasy 15, from what I have played, I can tell you that I love immensely, and that is good news because I've not really enjoyed a Final Fantasy 15 game since Final Fantasy 10. Final Fantasy 10-2 didn't do it for me, Final Fantasy 12 didn't do it for me, and both Final Fantasy 13 games didn't do it for me. And I'm not really the MMO guy, so I can't tell you about Final Fantasy 14 or Final Fantasy 11. It's just not my bag. It's not my cup of tea. But I can tell you that the last Final Fantasy that I actually enjoyed was 10, and I didn't enjoy it as much as I did 9. So 15 or more years since I've had an excellent Final Fantasy game that I could just jump into and enjoy. Here we are. We got Noctis. It's a simplistic story. It's a very simplistic game, right? You got Prince Noctis, who has agreed to marry girls so that this kingdom doesn't take over his kingdom. And somewhere along the way, the treaty gets blurred because the king of Niflheim decides to blow up the kingdom of Lucius anyway. So that's what this game is. That's what this game's about. I'm not going to spoil it here for you. I've had a fantastic game, or a fantastic time with Final Fantasy 15. I think it's a fantastic game. So that's why it's hitting my number 2. Even though I'm not finished with it and it's not ready for review, I know that it has been one of the highlight experiences of my year, getting back in touch and in love with a JRPG that meant everything to me during the SNES and PS1 era. So thank you, Square Enix, for delivering a good Final Fantasy game. You guys already knew what was coming to be number 1 for me, right? It was Uncharted 4. I'm a huge Naughty Dog fan, and this year is no different. Uncharted 4 delivering on every single level. It was good to see Nathan Drake mechanically working better than he's ever worked before, visually more stunning than he's ever been before, and storytelling wise, I thought it was gripping. If you have followed the saga from the beginning, this was a good story to tie up all the loose ends and give Nathan Drake a proper send-off. I fell in love with this game. It was intense when it needed to be intense, and I like the slow moments in the game as well because it let you breathe a little bit. It lets you enjoy those final moments with Nathan Drake and crew. I wish Chloe had been in the game, but other than that, guys, she's coming up in DLC, or so I have that to look forward to with the Lost Legacy. But Uncharted 4, man, just an unbelievable trip, and Naughty Dog, man, I salute you. This game was simply what it needed to be without upsetting the fans, it's going to be the last trip out for Nathan Drake, and if it's not a good one, the fans are going to be scratching their heads like, that was okay. I wish you had ended this a little bit better. I think that it was great. The epilogue from Uncharted 4, if you haven't played it, I'm not going to spoil it here, but the epilogue, man, thank you for adding the epilogue to Uncharted 4, because that was the feels that you needed to bring the series full circle. And man, I can't say enough good things about Uncharted 4. But anyway, guys, those are my top 5 games of the year. What are your top 5 games of the year? Let me know down in the comments below. And while you're down there, don't forget to hit the thumbs up button. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. And remember, guys, that I love your face. And we'll catch you next time. Have a good one.